thank you for joining me in China's very first International Import Expo. It is an expo completely devoted to imported goods from all across the world. It's a strong message that the Chinese government is trying to send to the world that China is aiming at becoming the world's biggest import market that is having a lot of consumption powers so that they can import products from all across the world. And actually, before I start from what is happening here in the expo, where we can see the construction is taking place in full swing, let me first show you this. This is the badge that reporters as well as the business persons and politicians need to use to enter the venues like this. And how many badges have they already produced so far? They told me that they have already created 600,000 badges like this for 600,000 people taking part in this year's expo, which is the very first in China, probably the very first in the world as well. And right behind me, I need to show you something that is very special in this year's expo. This is the most expensive exhibit of the entire expo, which has taken part by over 2,800 companies, foreign companies from 150 countries from all across the world. And this is the giant helicopter made by Italy, the Italian firm Leonardo, which is a very famous and very big cutting-edge company with a lot of new technologies as well as famous brands of the helicopters. And this one is AW189. First appeared in the world in the year 2014, and this time it is making its China debut. And so far, we cannot say this is the very first time that it fully appears in front of China, because as you can see, the look up on the top, the roof actually getting removed. This is because this helicopter is so huge and so giant that it cannot fly in the venue, of course. So it has to be shipped into the venue by truck. And, the rotors are for 80 meters long. They have to take the rotors off so that they can ship this giant helicopter into the venue. And if we look onto the back of the helicopter, 请我们的摄影师看一下尾翼的螺旋桨的位置。There we have already seen the engineers who are installing the smaller rotors there. And this afternoon, they told me that they will install the big 8-meter-long rotors on the top of this helicopter. And this helicopter has a total of 19 seats for 19 passengers and pilots. And if they remove the seats, they told us that they can carry 6 stretchers at one time. And this helicopter is designed for emergency rescue operations. And here in China, we may have disasters like earthquake or terrible traffic accidents on the highways, and that is why we need this kind of helicopter to make sure that it comes in handy to save more people at one time. 6 stretchers, meaning that it can save 6 seriously injured people at one time. They told us that this is the largest helicopter in the same rank. And they also told us that it can fly for a total of 1,500 kilometers in one operation after it's been fully filled inside. So it's a very useful and very efficient helicopter that is hopefully going to become very popular among the buying agents here in China. This expo is not open to the public, not open to the ordinary residents here in China, but it is open only to professional buying agents here in China. And they actually told us that there are already a lot of buying agents who are very interested in buying this helicopter. And they also told us that there are 3 or 4 companies at least who are expected to reach the deals on this helicopter. And just now you also saw those yachts, which is also designed and made by the Italian firm Ferretti, which is also a very famous one. And here we have seen the construction workers who are having a cheerful day, but also I think a very exhausting day. 你们工作了多长时间了？在这边？
这里面的 已有1个礼拜了。
有1个礼拜了啊。So they told us that they have been working here for nearly a week now. 每天要工作多少小时呢？
每天应该工作10几个小时吧。
多少
？10几个小时。
10几个小时。So they told us that every day they need to work for over 10 hours here. So they are racing against time to make sure that everything is ready. 你们还大概需要，你们主要的工作是什么呢？在这边？
我们主要是整个进博会所有的，比如说你们这个飞机是我们吊车吊的啊，做尺重，全长的吊车都是我做的。
吊什么？
吊装。
吊装
就是你这个飞机丢位嘛，我吊车把它吊起来，
把它吊起来，
始终吊装。
OK，
全长都是我家做的。
明白了。
刚刚我们公司一起通过招聘建设这个世博会的平台，我们公司也在这个宣传一下。
明白了。So they told us that the major job for them is to ship this helicopter into this venue with huge cranes so that they can be actually put here as the exhibit, because without the rotors, the helicopter cannot move on its own. So this that must be quite a sin. Okay, 非常感谢。Thank you very much. So a lot of impressive work that is going on here, and that yacht we have seen is also designed by the Italian firm Ferretti. It is also very expensive for the Chinese rising middle class as well as the elites here in the Chinese society. They told us that here in China we have not only a growing population but also a growing population of rich people who are having this strong purchasing power to buy all those luxury brands. And here this expo is the exhibits on the expo range from the luxury race cars to ordinary day-to-day consumption goods, including cosmetics, shampoos that we use every day. So they are targeting different group of the Chinese people. And here we can say construction is now in full swing. All the workers are here working ahead of time to make sure that everything is ready, because there is only less than a week to go before the expo really starts on November the 5th. And President Xi Jinping will attend, as well as politicians from a lot of countries, including 12 guest of honor countries, such as Britain, Germany, Pakistan, and a lot of other countries. So here we can see this is a very sophisticated machine, but I have to say, I don't know what it is, because today most of the people who are working here are the engineers instead of the PR persons or the salesperson, who are very capable of talking to us to tell us what it is. So perhaps let's just leave him on his own so that he can keep working. It's very sophisticated. We are just trying to make sure that we are not interrupting the work. In Chinese, we have a term called 不明觉厉, which means that we don't understand what it is, but we feel that it's very sophisticated. And this exhibition area is what they call the high-end intelligent products exhibition area. Actually, here in this expo, there are 7 exhibition areas for different types of products, including the country pavilions, which are aims at which are built to make country-to-country trade and investment treaties. And there are also sections of trading goods, including 6 other exhibition areas, including this one, the high-end intelligent equipment area. And the second one is consumer electronics, as well as appliances. And the third one is automobile. So auto shows here, a lot of new cars that will appear here in China. And the fourth one is daily items, consumption goods. The fifth one is food and agricultural products, and also medical equipment and medical care products. They occupy a total area of 180,000 square meters. And actually this entire exhibition area is 300,000 square meters in total, a very huge one here in downtown Shanghai. And just one more piece of information that I left out. Just now the helicopter that I showed you is worth 200 million yuan, or 28 million US dollars. It's 17 meters long and 5 meters tall.
Imported goods ranging from luxury race cars to ordinary daily items are all arriving at the expo in Shanghai. Most of them are making their debut in the country. Some big ticket items, such as helicopters, are dismantled into parts at the airport and then assembled at the venue. CGTN's Peng checks out one of the most high-profile exhibits.
Landing majestically in Shanghai, the most expensive exhibit coming to the China International Import Expo. The price tag 200 million RMB or around $30 million US. Made by Italian firm Leonardo, the giant helicopter is designed for emergency rescue operations.
It has the largest passenger cabin in the same rank aircraft. It has 19 seats in total.
We see that someone else is buying some drink here, and after him, I will also buy mine. It's been a very long day here, walking around this 300,000 square meter exhibition area. And something that is interesting is that China is having this mobile phone payment, which is becoming, this is sweeping across China. Today, even the street vendors are using the mobile phone to charge money. So it's, there's no cash, there's no credit card, only use their mobile phones to buy. And here, buy some drinks here. All you need to do is to press this button, use shopping, and then what should I buy? All kinds of choices. Maybe a cup of juice, like this. And then all we need to do is to choose the way you pay. Actually here, you can even pay by scanning your face, but I'm afraid I haven't registered my identity, so all I need to do is to scan the QR code, which is also very easy. Now all we need to do is to use the Alipay app, and then we scan it. So 4 RMB, less than $1. It's by fingerprints. You can identify who is paying for it without pressing the password. And then it's already here. So one more purchase here in the International Import Expo. And it's been a very long day, so excuse me for having a sip of the juice. And here you can see the huge crane, huge trucks that are being parked inside this hall. This boulevard, it shows how big this area is. They can have 3 giant trucks parking inside this area, and you don't even feel that they are occupying a lot of place. So a really big one. And now we are walking down this boulevard to some places of service areas where we will have the Starbucks coffee, KFC, banks, as well as some local traditional Shanghai food. And there you will be greeted by a lot of interesting snacks, as well as food and drinks. So people, you can spend 24 hours here if you like, because they also have a hotel. So a really impressive complex in downtown Shanghai, 300,000 square meters huge. And we need to take at least 2 minutes to really walk down this area. So it's basically something like this. So to make sure that you're not being bored by our long walk into the service area, perhaps here we can see the workers who are also shipping in many of the goods into the venue. A lot of construction is going on, a lot of noise. And here, these people are also perhaps the reporters or some other clerks of their companies, also shipping their products into the areas. And here it's still the hall of the high-end intelligent equipment area. So now what I want to do is to show you the package that I did, the story that I did about how that giant helicopter, the most expensive exhibit of the entire expo, flew into China, across the border into China, and landed at an airport here in Shanghai, and then how they removed all these 8-meter long rotors and then put the helicopter on the truck to ship it into this venue. The entire process we have already filmed. So I can promise a lot of impressive pictures in that story. So now why not, while we're walking Okay, I think our cameraman is trying to show us something more. This is the joint office of this exhibition partners office, which is providing service for people who are putting the products into the venue. So, yes, let's do this. Before we walk down to the entire hall, let's have a look at my package of how that one of the most high-profile exhibits and the most expensive exhibits arrived in Shanghai and being put into this area. A lot of impressive pictures. Let's have a look.
Imported goods ranging from luxury race cars to ordinary daily items are all arriving at the expo in Shanghai. Most of them are making their debut in the country. Some big ticket items such as helicopters are dismantled into parts at the airport and then assembled at the venue. CGTN's Peng. Imported goods ranging from luxury race cars to ordinary daily items are all arriving at the expo in Shanghai. Most of them are making their debut in the country. Some big ticket items such as helicopters are dismantled into parts at the airport and then assembled at the venue. CGTN's Peng checks out one of the most high-profile exhibits.
Landing majestically in Shanghai, the most expensive exhibit coming to the China International Import Expo. The price tag 200 million RMB or around $30 million US. Made by Italian firm Leonardo, the giant helicopter is designed for emergency rescue operations.
It has the largest passenger cabin in the same rank aircraft. It has 19 seats in total. In a rescue operation, it can carry up to 6 stretchers at one time.
Leonardo debuted the aircraft in 2014, and the Import Expo is where it will make its first China appearance.
Of course, this jumbo helicopter cannot fly into the venue of the Shanghai International Import Expo, so engineers have to remove the nearly 8-meter-long rotors before carrying them on truck into the venue.
The Sino-US helicopter investment company says there are already potential buyers in China and that they are expected to reach deals at the expo. With just a week to go, Shanghai had seen a surge in imported goods by some 2,800 foreign firms from over 130 countries and regions.
The Shanghai Customs have set up 38 special corridors for the business persons and 92 special windows for the goods coming into China for the Import Expo. Now with the big data platform, we are able to further cut the red tapes. The port clearance will see less paperwork and more automation.
The exhibition will cover an area of 300,000 square meters, and the jumbo helicopter may well be just the tip of the iceberg. Han Peng, CGTN, Shanghai.
Hi everyone, welcome back. And we have already walked to the end of this boulevard. And here is something that I must show to you. This is our company, our boss. It's the China Media Group's satellite truck. And here we can see is the 4K channel, which has just been opened by the China Media Group. And China Media Group consists of 4 different channels: CGTN, which is ours, CRI, China Radio International, and also China National Radio, as well as China Central Television, the CCTV. So this is one of the satellite trucks that we have here on the expo, and this is another one. This is, I think this is completely dedicated to CCTV. So there are numerous big satellite trucks like this in different positions here in Shanghai to make sure that we can have a full-scale coverage of the entire city during the expo. Because there are so many interesting things that will happen in the next 2 weeks. There will be a spectacular light show on the Peng, which people has already seen some of the impressive rehearsals there. The Peng is in downtown Shanghai, which is one of the most famous areas, not only in China, but also in the world. A lot of cheerful people who are coming here. This is my colleague Liu Yang. We just met by accident. Yes, this is like dreaming. It's a huge area of 300,000 square meters.
Yeah.
But she is my boss, and we met here in this huge area. It shows this is the magic connection that we have.
Yeah.
So how do you feel walking around this area?
A very large one.
It's very large.
Easy to get lost.
Easy to get lost. Yes. Did you see that the giant helicopter, the most expensive exhibit?
Yesterday I saw it.
Yesterday you already saw it. Yes.
Very
yes.
impressive. In New York. Yeah.
Did you buy anything in the coffee house, in the like zongzi, the traditional Chinese food?
Not yet, but I think I definitely will in the coming days. Yeah.
Okay. Good to meet you here. Yeah, I'll continue with my work and make sure that you see that I'm working.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, my boss. I need to just tell you that this is not being arranged as we just met by accident. So very interesting anecdote, very interesting episode during our live streaming. And this is also the fun that we have when we're doing the new media live streaming, because there are a lot of always interesting surprises that would happen here. And here is the service area of many of the restaurants as well as the coffee houses. So you will never get tired or hungry or thirsty whenever you are working or you are having a visit in the giant exhibition area. So here we have see the KFC, which is the famous US brand. It's not displaying their products, it's actually selling their products. It's for people, a place for people to have food. We also seen the Pacific Coffee there, and also the China Construction Bank, and the place where people can withdraw their money. And that is a place where we can see the traditional Chinese zongzi, Wufangzhai, which is very famous here in Shanghai and also in Zhejiang province. So a lot of interesting shops that you can come and buy as long as you have the badge to come in. And let's have a look at this one, the Muscat coffee. It's a Chinese brand, but they say that Muscat coffee is actually something imported from, the idea is actually being imported from the Southeast Asia countries like Indonesia. And actually coffee is an imported idea here in China because China has always been a tea drinking culture. But about 20 years ago, Starbucks entered China, and what is interesting is that Starbucks kept losing money for 9 years until Beijing Olympics, which is in the year 2008. Before that, Starbucks kept losing money for a total of 9 years, nearly a decade, because few people drink coffee here in China. My parents wouldn't say it's a good habit for me to drink coffee. But today, as we can see, young people like us, it's already a lifestyle for us to drink at least a cup of coffee every day, just to keep us awake, or just to find a place to have a rest. So why not just enter one of the Chinese brand coffee, which borrows the idea from Indonesia, and we can see what kind of coffee we can buy here. 哎，你好，我们买一杯咖啡吧。来，
稍微等一下好吗
So they told me that I need to wait for a moment. Again, we can pay by our mobile phone. 哎，你好，我们那个买了杯咖啡，就点来一个那个拿铁吧，好吧。So I'm buying a cup of latte. 哎，你好，扫码可以吗？来一个拿铁。热的吧。It's a bit expensive here, 48 RMB. But considering that this is a place with very tight security, I think it cost them a lot to transport many of their products into this area, especially food and drinks. So 48 RMB, which is around, let me see, 6 or 7 US dollars, is a bit expensive if you compare it to ordinary prices, but it's an acceptable one if we consider we're buying the coffee here. So we can see the ladies are already working on the latte coffee here. You can see some foreigners buying coffee. 看一下外面。 Many of the staff here can speak several languages, just to make sure that when the foreign purchasing agents are coming, they can make sure that they can at least communicate and make sure what kind of things they are buying and how much it is. I think my coffee is getting ready. Here it is. 我的拿铁快好了，是吧？对的。So this lady is working on my latte. If I think about it, it's quite impressive. Like I said, 20 years ago, very few people in China would choose coffee as a kind of drink. They thought it was very bitter and it wasn't healthy. But today, young people like me, or even some of the middle-aged people, are already accepting the culture of coffee. That's how imported goods here in China can change not just the profits of foreign companies, but it's also changing China and changing the minds of the Chinese people. And that is why China has always been very receptive to the Western ideas or to any foreign ideas, just to make sure that they can keep up with the world, the fast-changing world. OK， 谢谢您。这个是 receipt 那个发票。So receipt for a cup of coffee. Let me see how good it is. Let me try it. Tastes very nice, quite authentic. And let me show you something like this. This is the latest products of China's sharing economy, which is the mobile phone's battery charge. And let me show you how you can use it, because sometimes your mobile phone may be dead or out of the juice. So all you need to do is to scan the QR code here. Oh, sorry. Scan the QR code, and then you get the battery that can charge your mobile phone. Oh, I see. This one, we are using the WeChat, and WeChat asks for a deposit money. Oops, someone is calling me during our live. And okay, let me show you this. So if you use WeChat, you need to pay some deposit before you can really get one, because they fear that you will take this away. But what is interesting is that when you use Alipay, you don't even need to pay deposit, because all you need to do, just the 4 RMB that I used to pay the juice just now, and all you need to do is to scan the QR code, and then you will get it, because Alipay has a very cutting edge credit system that is linked to the government. So you don't need to pay any deposit, as long as you agree that they can see whether you are a credible person. Okay, I passed the test. I'm trustworthy, and then it decided to let me one. There's even a red packet for me, some bonus money, but I won't get it. Sometimes it's just a sheer advertisement without any real money in it. And then all you need to do is to click the button, and you see it starts charging here. And then after you finish using it, just put it back. For me, because there's still 84%, so plenty of electricity, and all I need to do is to press this button. It says press the button and we return it. And then this one is just put it back, and then everything is good. So very interesting technology that is that has been invented in China, I think just 1 or 2 years ago, but it's already causing some sweeping changes in China, how people are actually enjoying their lives and paying money for consumption here. And here I'm finding a seat. It's been quite a long day, because this morning I was in the heart of this expo area, but now I think I cannot go back there, because that was the place where President Xi Jinping and a lot of other senior politicians would attend a formal ceremony on November the 5th. And now they have blockaded the entire area to make sure that to make sure that security is put in place. So all the reporters have been removed from that area, and now all we can do is to walk around that place and see all those exhibition halls. But it's still a huge one. Like I said, 300,000 square meters. So it's been a long day for me because I started going to that core area where the politicians will meet this morning from 6 o'clock. And then I kept walking around this huge exhibition halls. And now I think it's time for me to take a break and enjoy some afternoon, not afternoon tea, but afternoon coffee. Thank you for watching my live streaming right here in downtown Shanghai.